Unit Unit 5 Laplace transform. So the Laplace transform is named in the honor of great French mathematician Simon de Laplace. So it is a mathematical technique which is used for solving differential equations. Then the Laplace transform changes one signal into another by some fixed set of equations. Basically, the Laplace transform changes a signal from time domain in S domain. So, why use Laplace transform? Find the solution to the differential equation using algebra. The relationship to Fourier transform allows easy way to characterize a system. There is no need for convolution of input and differential equation solution. It is useful with a multiple process in system. So, how to use a Laplace transform? Find the differential equation that describe a system, then obtain Laplace transform, then perform algebra to solve for output or variable of interest, and apply inverse transform to find the solution. So, there are some before going to the Laplace transform, we will see the limitations of Fourier transform. So there are some limitations. The most important limitation of Fourier transform is that there are many functions for which Fourier transform does not exist. This is because such functions are not absolutely integrable. Using Fourier transformation, it is little difficult to calculate the convolution and then to obtain the system response. The differential equations with initial conditions cannot be solved using a Fourier transform, and the stability and pole zero behavior cannot be studied using Fourier transform. So these are the limitations of Fourier transform. Now, need of Laplace transform or the application of Laplace transform. So if we solve all the equations in time domain, then why to select a Laplace transform? Because the Laplace transform reduces the problem of solving differential equation to an algebraic problem. So the solution of differential equations becomes simple. Then many mechanical and electrical forces are discontinuous in nature, or they may be present only for short amount of time period. So these forces are not sine or cosine functions. That means solution of these functions become difficult, and the Laplace transform converts such a function into sine and cosine function. So the solution becomes simple. Both complementary and particular solution can be obtained in one operation using Laplace transform. So it gives a complete solution of differential equation. Then the knowledge of both magnitude and frequency can be obtained using Laplace transformation. So these are the steps to use a Laplace. Then the next is history of transform. Euler began looking at integrals as a solution to differential equation in the mid 17th. So equation is z equal to integration x of x e raised to ax dx. So finally, in 1785, Laplace began using a transformation to solve the equation of finite differences, which eventually lead to the current transform. Then the definition of Laplace. The Laplace transform is a linear operator that switched a function f of t to fs, especially where s is equal to sigma plus j omega. So motivation for the Laplace transform. The CT Fourier transform enables us, CT means continuous time. It enables us to solve the linear constant coefficient differential equations, also analyze the frequency response of LTI system, analyze and understand the implications of sampling, develop communication system based on modulation principles. So why do we need another transform? The Fourier transform cannot handle unstable signals. There are many problems in which we desire to analyze and control unstable systems. For example, the space shuttles, oscillator and lasers. Also consider simple unstable system. This is an unstable causal system. We cannot analyze its behavior. So we can use time domain techniques such as convolution and differential equation. So transform is a mathematical conversion from one way of thinking to another to make a problem easier to solve. So problem in original way of thinking, then it is given to the transform, solution in transform way of thinking, and solution in original way of thinking. So problem in the time domain is given to the Laplace transform, then it will be in the solution in S domain, then again inverse Laplace transform, we get solution in time domain. So there are some more transforms like Fourier transform, Z transform and wavelets. Now what is that S domain? The S domain is a complex plane, which means there are real numbers along horizontal axis and imaginary numbers along vertical axis. The distance along a real axis is expressed by a variable sigma, and distance along imaginary axis is expressed by variable omega. So it is a natural frequency. In this coordinate system, the location of any point is specified by providing values of sigma and omega. Thus, using a complex notation, each location is represented by a complex variable s, and s is equal to sigma plus j omega. The s plane is continuous and it extends to the infinity in all four directions. So here Laplace transformation is shown here. Time domain, linear differential equation, time domain solution, Laplace transform equation, Laplace solution. So when linear differential equation, when Laplace transform is applied to, then it becomes Laplace transformed equation. And when we apply inverse to the Laplace solution, then time domain solution is applied. So S plane is continuous and extend to the infinity in all four directions. Now consider x of t is a function of t for all t greater than 0. Then the Laplace transform of x of t is denoted by Laplace of, that is L of x of t, and it is defined as the Laplace of x of t is equal to integration 0 to infinity x of t e raised to minus st dt. The Laplace transform xt is also denoted by capital X of s, and here notation L, that is capital L, is called as Laplace transform operator. So rational transform, the many transforms of interest to us will be the ratios of polynomial in S, which we refer to as a rational transform. The zeros of the polynomial ns are called the zeros of Hs, and the zeros of the polynomial ds are called poles of Hs. So there is a pole and zero concept. Any signal that is sum of complex or one-sided exponential can be expressed as a rational transform. For example, which include a circuit analysis. So here diagram is shown which consists of how to show a zeros and poles. Then properties of ROC. There are some signals, particularly two-sided signals, such as that do not have a Laplace transform. The ROC typically assumes there are two signals such as x of t equal to e raised to t and e raised to j omega, which do not have a Laplace transform. By mistake they are not shown here, these two equations. The ROC typically assumes a few simple shapes. It is usually the intersection of the lines parallel to the imaginary axis. So for the rational transform, the ROC does not include any pole. If x of t is the finite duration and absolutely integrable, then its ROC is complete S-plane. So here equation is shown. Also, if x of t is the right sided and if sigma 0 is in the ROC, then all points to the right side of sigma 0 are in ROC, and if x of t is on left sided, then points to the left of sigma 0 are in ROC. Then there are some more properties of ROC. If x of t is two-sided, then ROC consists of intersection of left-sided and right-sided version of x of t, which is a strip in the S line. Then ROC for the rational transform. Since the ROC cannot include the poles, the ROC is bounded by the poles of rational transform. If x of t is right-sided, then the ROC begins to the right of the rightmost pole, and if it is left-sided, then ROC begins to the left of the leftmost pole. If x of t is double-sided, then ROC will be in the intersection of these two regions. And if it includes the j omega axis, then Fourier transform x of t exists. Hence the Fourier transform can be considered to the evaluation of the Laplace transform along the j omega axis. Now there are some sufficient conditions for the existence of Laplace transform. These conditions are: first condition is function x of t is piecewise continuous and function x of t is function of exponential order. So pole zero concept consists of the Laplace transform of any time domain signal which can be expressed in terms of ratio of numerator polynomial and denominator polynomial. So we can say x of s is equal to ns by ds. Ns means numerator polynomial and ds means denominator polynomial. So we can factorize the numerator and denominator, and after obtaining the roots of numerator and denominator, we can write this equation. So The Laplace transform exists if integration exists. That means the Laplace transform exists if integral is convergent. The meaning of the word convergent is the answer of integration must be finite. Now next is Laplace transform theory. So the equations for the Laplace transform is given here, the general theory, example, and the convergence equation. Now there are some properties of the Laplace transform. It consists of linearity, scaling in time, time shift, frequency or S-plane shift, multiplication by t raised to n, integration and differentiation. Also the Laplace transform some basic function is also we can also obtain the Laplace transform some basic function such as delta function, unit step, exponential signal. These are some basic signals. We can obtain the Laplace transform of these basic signals. So there are some simple rules to decide ROC. If signal is multiplied with u of t, then it is called as casual signal. If signal is multiplied with u of minus t, then it is called as anti-casual signal. Once the Laplace transform of any equation is calculated, then we have to obtain the roots of denominator, that is poles. If the signal is casual, then ROC is greater than a value of pole. If signal is anti-casual, then ROC is less than the value of pole. If signal is combination of many casual terms, then ROC is greater than the largest pole. If signal is a combination of many anti-casual terms, then ROC is less than the smallest pole. And if the signal is combination of casual and anti-casual term, then ROC is the region between two poles. So these are some rules to decide ROC. We can also obtain the Laplace transform of sine wave, cosine wave, damped sine wave, damped cosine wave. Also, so the properties of the Laplace transform are used to obtain the Laplace transform of composite function. Now, first linearity property. The use of linear property is that we can express the given signal in the form of two or more elementary signal, and then by finding their individual Laplace transform and by adding them, we can simplify the solution. So meaning of linear property is that it states that the Laplace transform of linear combination of signal is same as the linear combination of their individual Laplace transform, while the resultant ROC is the intersection or the overlap of individual ROC. Then here the linearity property with proof is given. Then the shifting. So next is the time shifting or the shifting in time domain. So here the meaning of this time shifting property is that here if x of t minus t0 indicates the sequence xt which is shifted in time domain or delayed, thus shifting the signal in time domain by t0 corresponds to the multiplication by e raised to minus s t0 in the frequency domain. That is, it introduces a phase shift in the frequency domain. Then also shifting in S domain. The meaning of this shifting in S domain property is that here if x of s minus s0 indicate the frequency shift by s0, thus the frequency shift by s0 is equivalent to multiplying time domain signal xt by e raised to s0 t. The ROC is shifted by RE of s0. Also, before going to the differentiation, the time scaling. The meaning of time scaling property is that in time domain we have the term x of at, and it indicates the multiplication of the time with some constant a, and it is the expansion of time axis. While in frequency domain we have the term x of s by a, and it indicates the compression in frequency domain. Thus, expanding time axis is equivalent to the compression in frequency domain. The ROC is also expanded or compressed depending on the value of a. So the ROC is also expanded or compressed depending on the value of a. Then the time differentiation or differentiation in time domain. The meaning of this property is differentiating the signal in time domain is equivalent to the multiplying its Laplace transform by s in the frequency domain. Then differentiation in s domain. Its meaning is differentiating the sequence in s domain is equivalent to the multiplying the sequence in time domain by minus t. Then integration theorem, that is time integration. Here integral of the time domain signal correspond to the division by s in the Laplace transform, and the integration in s domain. So here it means that if the Laplace transform of the function xt exists, then the integral of corresponding transform with respect to s in the complex frequency domain will correspond to the division by t in the time domain. The convolution property. The meaning of the convolution property is that the convolution of two signals in time domain becomes a simple multiplication process in the transform domain. We know that the time domain response of LTI system means the convolution of input signal and its impulse response. Thus, to find the response of LTI system, it is always better to go in Laplace domain than the time domain. Then the Laplace transform of periodic signal. Its meaning is, property of the meaning is that if the function is periodic with period t0, then calculate the Laplace transform of first term only, and then the total Laplace transform is obtained by multiplying the Laplace transform of the first term by the factor 1 divided by 1 minus e raised to s t0. So these two equations shows the initial value theorem. This is final value theorem. Convolution theorem we have seen. Now any time domain function which can be expressed in terms of singular functions. There are additions or subtractions of a singular function to an existing function. Generally there are three possibilities: step plus minus step, step plus minus ramp, and ramp plus minus ramp. So first case is step plus minus step. The addition or the subtraction of step to step result in a step function. The magnitude of the resultant is the algebraic addition or the subtraction respectively of the two steps. The change in the magnitude occur at the instant of addition. Also, step plus minus ramp, when the addition of the step is done to the ramp, then the result is ramp function, and it is shifted by an amount equal to the step. When there is a ramp plus minus ramp, then the addition of ramp plus minus the addition of ramp to the ramp gives a ramp signal. The slope of this ramp is the algebraic addition of two slopes. So the change in the slope occur at the instant of addition. A special case in an addition of two equal and opposite slope, and this result in the ramp zero slope, that is horizontal line. Now the one-sided means unilateral. The unilateral Laplace transform causal system, causal signal is defined by the function x of s is equal to Laplace of x of t for t equal to 0 to infinity. So we can write this function x of s is equal to integration 0 to infinity xt e raised to minus st dt. So in unilateral Laplace transform, the integration is carried from t equal to 0 minima to t equal to infinity. So there are some similar properties of bilateral Laplace transform and unilateral Laplace transform. These properties are linearity, S-domain shifting, time scaling, conjugation, differentiation in S-domain, initial and final value theorem, and convolution property. But there is some difference in the property of unilateral and bilateral Laplace transform. The difference in differentiation property, that is differentiation in time domain and differentiation in S domain. So unilateral Laplace transform is interpreted as a bilateral Laplace transform of signal. Unilateral is useful for analyzing linear constant coefficient differential equation with non-zero initial condition. Now next point is inverse Laplace transform. So next is inverse Laplace transform. The Laplace transform is used to convert a function x of t into x of s. That is, using Laplace transform, we can convert time domain function xt into Laplace domain function x of s. The basic advantage of converting any function into Laplace is the mathematical calculation are reduced. So the solution of differential equation becomes simple, as well as many electrical network can be reduced using Laplace transform. So the necessity of inverse Laplace transform is that if the given function xt is converted into Laplace xs, that is the operator is s and not t. The operator t indicate that the time domain operation. So all the operations that we are doing in our daily life are with reference to time. That means it is a time domain. In Laplace transform, the equations are with respect to s domain. So the end user cannot understand the language of Laplace. So for designing of any system, the output must be with respect to time. That means it must be in time domain. So to convert the Laplace domain function into time domain, the inverse Laplace transform is used. Now the inverse Laplace transform based on partial fraction expansion method. So this method is suitable for the Laplace transform which are rational in nature. That means they are expressed as the ratio of two polynomials. X of s is equal to ns by ds. Ns means numerator polynomial and ds means denominator polynomial. So there are some steps to follow in the partial fraction expansion. So first is factorize the denominator and obtain the roots. Then denominator will be in the form s minus p1 s minus p2 dot s minus pn. Now these p1 p2 pn are called as poles. Then write down the equation in partial fraction expansion like a1 by s1 minus p1, a2 by s1 s minus p2, and here a1 a2 are the coefficient of partial fraction expansion. So we have to calculate this a coefficient. So after calculating this a coefficient, we have to use the standard Laplace transform pairs. Then the nature of the time domain signal, that means whether it is right-handed signal, that is casual, or left-handed means anti-casual, and it is decided by using some rules. So the first rule to decide whether casual or anti-casual is when the poles lie to the LHS of the ROC, then corresponding signal is right-handed, that is casual. That means it is multiplied by u of t. And when the poles lie to the RHS of the ROC, then corresponding signal is left-handed, that is anti-casual. That means it is multiplied by u of minus n. And for bilateral inverse Laplace transform, the pole must lie on both sides of the ROC. So these are the rules which are used to draw the poles and zeros to decide the ROC. Now there are some points for the stability. The LTI system is said to be stable if and only if the ROC of the system transfer function Hs included j omega x's. That means RE of S is equal to 0. A casual LTI system is stable if and only if all the poles of Hs have negative real part. That means if all such poles lie in the LHS of S plane. If one or more poles lie at the RHS, then the system becomes unstable. Similarly, if there are multiple poles on j omega axis, then also the system becomes unstable. And if there are no poles at RHS of S plane and one or more simple poles are present on j omega axis, then such a system is called as marginally stable system. So it is called as marginally stable system. So these are the properties and all information related to the Laplace transform. In next lecture we will see the problems related to the Laplace transform.